Happy holidays, everyone. I brought my friend and neighbor Teo along. We're going to share some tips on how to keep a live Christmas tree fresh throughout the entire holiday season. All right, Teo, the reason that a live Christmas tree doesn't last as long as it should, in most cases, is that it's not absorbing water. And here's the reason why. Once a live Christmas tree is cut, and it doesn't matter whether you cut it fresh yourself from a farm 20 or 30 minutes ago, or was cut in Canada last month, what happens is as soon as the end of this is cut, sap starts to leach out of the cut end. When it hits the air, it dries and it forms almost like a sticky glue. What happens is once that dries on the end of the cut, it can't absorb water as easily. So the first thing you need to do is make a fresh cut. And you can use a chainsaw or a reciprocating saw, but a handsaw works just as well. And you want to remove, I would say at least an inch, inch and a half or so. So here we go. And what you'll see is you're going to have a really nice, clean, fresh cut. And that sap will again, it'll start coming out. So the clock starts ticking. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful, nice and fresh. That's what it used to look like. Okay, to enhance the tree's ability to absorb water, the next thing you do is drill a hole, 1/4 inch diameter hole, straight up through the bottom of the tree. Now, when you drill that hole, drill in a little bit, pull it out, drill it in, because you won't be able to do it all in one pass. So, right up, straight up through, back it out, and go all the way in one more time. All the way. Perfect. There you go, Taya. Look at that. So now we have a fresh cut and a hole straight up through the middle. Give me that stand, please. So now what you want to do, as soon as you do that, you want to put it in your stand, tighten this up, get it upright, and fill this with water. The first day or two, this tree will suck up almost all the water. So keep an eye on the water level. You want to make sure it's never dry. It takes usually 2 or 3 days for the tree to be fully hydrated. And at that point, you may have to add water every 3 or 4 days. But those are the 2 tips to keep your live Christmas tree fresh throughout the holidays. High five, baby. Here's a fun and festive way to create a decorative Christmas tree out of a tomato tower. You may have seen these. They're used in the garden when you're growing tomatoes. The vines will grow up and curl around here, so this helps support the plant so it doesn't flop over once it starts getting fruit. But if you turn it upside down, it kind of takes the shape of a Christmas tree, right? But for this tip, you actually need 2 tomato towers. And the reason is it rounds out the shape a little more. So what you want to do is put one over the other. And you see these vertical ribs? You don't want to line them up. What you want to do is rotate it about halfway between these 2. And then press it down. And there you go. Now you have a more rounded shape. So it'll look more like a Christmas tree. And then at the top, there you go. At the top, you just want to pull them together. These little spiky parts, you want to pull them together and hold them with a zip tie. You can just use any piece of wire, but the zip tie, these plastic zip ties work really well. Just push it through and pull it tight. And then snip off the tail. Right there. Perfect, right? So there you can see you kind of got the Christmas tree shape. And then up here you could put a small Santa hat or a big bow, or in this case I found a star, a little plastic shiny star to put over the top. Just fits perfectly. Boink, boink. There you go. Okay, so now you have this armature. What are you going to do with it? Well, you could just wrap it in lights. And that looks perfectly nice, but of course it only looks nice at night. During the day, it doesn't really look like much. So I thought I would make it look a little bit more like a Christmas tree by wrapping it in garland. You can get garland in almost any color, but obviously I want to do green. And then to hold it in place, you can just get some wire. I was going to originally buy floral wire. They sell them at florist shops and most hardware stores. Because it's thin and it's green, you wouldn't see it. But then I realized I had these little green ornament hooks. So what's the point of buying extra wire? So I just straighten these out. You have a nice short piece of green wire. Perfect for this. So just grab the end. It doesn't matter where you start. You just want to put it around there and hold it with, I know on camera you probably can't see this, but all I'm doing is just taking this piece of wire and wrapping it around there and twisting it on. Once you get this twisted on, then of course you're just going to wind the garland around. And you want to keep them pretty close together. All right, kind of get the idea, right? Looks kind of cool. You just keep going all the way around. Once you get here, you can just start spinning it, make it a little quicker. And if you find that the garland starts sagging a little bit, you can take one of those wires and wire it to the vertical ribs. So you just keep going round and round. And when you get to one of the horizontal hoops, then you definitely want to tie it off. And you can see, because we separated these ribs, you have a much more rounded look than you'd have otherwise. Okay, so you get the idea, right? So you just keep going round and round. Then when you get to these hoops, you want to tie it off with some wire. And you're just going to continue, obviously, all the way to the bottom. Then, okay, so now you have it completely covered in garland. You have several options. You can hang ornaments, string lights, put bows on it. In fact, this one I just want to show you how it started. I've got a finished one upstairs out on the front steps. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, oh, there goes Will. Okay, so here you go. Here's the finished one. We have it set out here on our front steps. Nice cold, about 20 degrees here in New England. We had fresh snow last night. But here's the finished tree. You can see the armature is completely covered. After I put on the green garland, I put one wrap of the silver one just as a little highlight. And then I put on bows and ornaments and some lights. And I first started using ornaments from our Christmas tree, and I realized they're way too big, so I went back to the store and found a little box of tiny ones, which for the scale of this tree are perfect. They come in various sizes, up to about 1.5 inches. And the lights are battery powered. So, you know, you can put this anywhere. It doesn't have to be plugged into a cord. And so here you go. This is what it looks like with the lights on. These are going to be flashing lights. There you go. What do you think? Pretty cool, right? We would just like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year to all our subscribers, new and old, and hope you have a great year. Well, give me that.